Arizona Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon responds to being on the potential hot seat. Maybe he's easy to talk about it because head coach isn't going anywhere, Johnny Venerable.
Yeah, we break down the state of the Arizona Cardinal franchise after a dumpster fire performance against the 49ers. PHNX Cardinals on a Big Fat Loser Monday starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe, friends. We're just 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's my co-host, Brack. Thanks for tuning in for 6+ hours of live on-air content. Yesterday, produced by the one, the only Noah Man behind the mic. We soldier on following the Cardinals' 20+ point home defeat against San Francisco. Bo, how we living?
We're living well. Putting on a brave face today for what? The 6th out of the last 7 weeks? Is that possible? Or 7 out of the last 8? What's going on, Naheem? How about you, Madrew? How we doing, my guy in Whitetown? How about Steven Jackson? Ahoy, hoy. Dennis? We've got JR. Shaft, what's going on? Joey Kennedy. Big here on the social media streets. How about Dylan Richards? How we doing? Jojo, Emily, got the squad here. Everybody is wanting to have a discussion about this team. My co-host, my gosh, if I squint, is that Ian Rappaport? Is that Adam Schefter making some big boy reports last night post game? Of course, this episode of PHNX Cardinals brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Never ordinary. It wasn't ordinary when I was cashing some checks last night. Thanks hitting on our bets and Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365. Deposit $10, bet $5, and get $200 in bonus bets. Bet365.
Hit that like button for us. We soldier on here. We did a video on demand that dropped earlier today. I encourage everybody to watch it. We're going to rehash a little bit of what we broke down. Jonathan Gannon met with the media. We're going to get to that here in a second. Bo, you were there. Yeah. Those media sessions are just such a joy at this point in the season. Here's where we're at with this team. So yesterday, we debuted a graphic that we are going to have to put on the shelf for the time moving forward. Potential successors to Jonathan Gannon. And good spirited conversation on the post-game show. And then very, very calculated tipped off last night after hours. Jonathan Gannon's not going anywhere. So much so we got assurance from the powers that be that he wasn't going anywhere and that they believe what they're trying to do collectively and they're committed to figuring this out. And they chalk this up to a season in which things didn't go their way and they just need to finish strong here, whatever that means. Now, you read that a couple different ways. I read that as just don't get blown out, win a couple games here or there. I no longer feel like, oh, you got to win 7 or 8 games. Like it feels like Michael Bidwill, Monti, Ossenfort, Jonathan Gannon, they want to remain together. They want to remain the brain trust to go into 2026 and beyond to try to remedy this. And again, it could be the wrong decision. It could be the right decision. Right now, it feels like a decision that could backfire. But after those performances, I mean, the fact that he is getting assurances like this, I think it tells you everything you need to know.
As far as the Arizona Cardinals fan, as far as the NFL consumer goes, if you've been watching this team, you see that, they had a bit of an identity as far as playing hard under Jonathan Gannon. You knew that they were going through a rebuild. And a lot of things that you thought you knew to be true about this organization have been a bit shaken to its core. And confidence is waning. Some of the fan base doesn't trust the organization, the decision makers. So when you see something come out like this, there are going to be lots of questions asked as far as what are you making this decision based on? Because as far as in this production league, you're not getting anywhere close to the results necessary to maybe carve out an extra season. And like, we're on record, we like Jonathan Gannon, but for the sake of objectivity, you got to ask yourself, where is the proof? Where is, at least in the final 7 games of this season, where is the fear? Where is needing to live up to some sort of standards? Where's the organizational standard? It appears to me right now it's not based as far as them being judged by wins and losses. So that's a tough sell for a fan base 3 years into a regime. When you hear, and you'll hear from Gannon himself, like as far as why fans should remain confident or what's your message to the fans, they're going to have to do a lot of recontracting. They're going to have to prove themselves, over the next 7 games and beyond, the offseason, and being aggressive and retooling this roster and putting in not just the roster, but the coaching staff. And then they're going to have to get out of the gates hot in 2026. Like, this is like, that's the one thing too, is how daunting this is. Like, this is a long play. And this, where people are fed up right now.
Right. It's November 17th. I would say conservatively 90% of the fan base wants him fired. And again, our stance is let him finish the season out, right? See if he can get this course corrected. I think he deserves that. I also think he's done a lot of good off the field, which we've talked about. Players really enjoy him. The division record speaks for itself. It is dismal. It's brutal, right? This division is not for the faint of heart. It was a tall task to come into this situation and have to overcome a Shanahan, a Schneider, a McVay. I mean, it's a lot. And so here, get back to Gannon here in a second, but I want to give my 2 cents on this notion of Michael Bidwill, and I'll let my co-host speak on it as well, because that's, he's taking a lot of shots and taking a lot of criticism, and rightfully so. And seasons prior, years prior, and the term meddling has been used. We got pretty close, to the situation here as it relates to like how they run day in and day out. Like, Michael Bidwill has empowered Monti and JG, and I think in a weird way that's what makes this that much more difficult, because I know it's trendy to say like, well, the owner is meddling. He's not, though. My understanding is he's not, and he's taking the advice from Gannon and Monti. Let's revamp our nutrition program. Let's put parameters in place. Let's spend money in the off season. Let's get this facility built. Like, I would argue that this has probably been the most promising 3-year stretch for Michael Bidwill, probably since he got the stadium built. So I think, like, if you're going to point the finger at anybody, you have to point the finger at the football people here. Like, right. That Michael Bidwill, that kind of, excuse, I don't think it reigns true here. And I think if you're Jonathan Gannon and Monti Ossenfort, you've let the fan base down. Bidwill, I don't think that's an easy cop out.
Yes.
I mean, I watch this team, they're just out coached. Like, Michael Bidwill's not coaching on the sideline. He's not giving Akeem Davis-Gaither a 2-year deal. Like, yeah. I mean, they've made some really poor choices, and now that's why they're 3-7. That's my opinion.
Right. No, I tend to agree with you on most of what you said, and I think it's an easy, lazy out as it stands today, because based on the information that we're privy to, Michael Bidwill has given, for the most part, full autonomy as far as the football operations to Monti Ossenfort, and then Monti Ossenfort empowers and emboldens Jonathan Gannon and his coaching staff to handle the players. And that is how, the power pyramid works as far as the Arizona Cardinals. And anytime, for the most part, that they've gone to Bidwill and say, hey, we need this, we need that, we need, as Johnny mentioned, we need to revamp our nutritional staff. We need to, get the cafeteria up and running.
Let me give a quick example real quick. Yeah. You made a great point here, and I'm going to peel back the curtain a little bit. When they lost Clayton Adams, Jonathan Gannon and the powers that be called Michael Bidwill and said, we got to get Justin Fry. We got to outbid everybody. It was done the same day.
Right.
Like, and that's a Jonathan Gannon decision.
Right.
I want Justin Fry. We lost Clayton Adams. What do we need to do to secure this? It was done the same day.
Right.
So like, that's one example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's
Well, you can look back to this offseason, including Fry, when they were revamping their defensive front coaches.
Yeah.
From the D-line to the pass rush to where that was kind of a drawn-out process. And you thought in the offseason how far it kind of it gotten close to the combine where you want to have your staffs in place. It kind of lingered, right? And like they just trusted that Gannon was going to, even though like they go through interviews and thought they had their guy at pass rush and guy on defensive line, he said, that's not how I want it to work.
Yeah.
So, he ends up landing on these new coaches and like he gets to, make the decision as far as that. The thing is like, if you want to call it like that, you want to say it's always going to be ownership and crap trickles down and that old cliche. And like, I tend to agree with you. And like at time, especially in the history of this organization, there's you do struggle with the decisions made from up top. But for the last 3 seasons, you can call us a shill. I'm just calling it how it is. I'm informing you, Chris, as far as how things have gone. That if Gannon or Ossenfort said, I need this, Bidwill was apt to greenlight that and do what they want. And before that, when Keim unceremoniously had to resign from this organization of years of futility at his position, and Cliff turned out to be a guy that couldn't lead a locker room. You can say what you want about Cliff right now, but Cliff was not up to standards as far as being a head coach. And people were saying, Michael Bidwill's watching film with this team, and there's all these other things.
Right.
There's these other reports and allegations and this and that. Like, it hasn't been the case. And make people want to like get away from the football operations. And now they're saying, come on, Bidwill, do something. It's like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. So like, here's the one thing I can appreciate, but I understand the results aren't there, especially from what matters the most, and that's winning football games, is that in this state of age of instant gratification and win now, that they're preaching patience and trying to do it the right way. Ultimately, I agree with what my co-host said. Could it just be the wrong setup and it could be a disaster and you're just delaying the inevitable? That's the ultimate fear.
I mean,
I'm not.
I think there's just a better chance that this parent's not going to work. I think that's fair. Yeah. They are choosing to believe that they can get it right. They're not going to fire Jonathan Gannon. Monti Ossenfort doesn't want to hire another coach. Michael Bidwill doesn't want to hire another coach. For Jonathan Gannon to be dismissed, he would have to lose out embarrassing fashion. I think right now it's about mitigating this disaster. Here's what I also don't think. I don't think they do a great job articulating this, but I don't think they're like spitting on the fans. Right. I think the product is horrendous. It's a horrendous product right now.
Yeah.
There. You want me to rip something? The team is unwatchable. I told my wife, I'm like, don't let my son watch this. Put Red Zone on.
Shill.
I was like, don't put this on for him. He's 10 years old. He's gonna be pissed off. Just put on Red Zone. They didn't listen. And it was bad.
Yeah.
It's like they're gonna have to eat that. They're gonna have to go we're gonna be at the combine. They're gonna have to go to the combine, and everybody's gonna whisper, "Dead man walking." Cardinals, they're screwed. They got nobody. They got no mojo, and it's just like they got to wear that, right? Like
I'm sure we're going to be at the Super Bowl and we talk to the analysts out there. Everybody who was in Gannon's corner previous 2 seasons are going to be singing a different tune. I almost guarantee it.
I'm going to tell everybody right now, you are not wrong to believe this is a fireable offense in terms of the win-loss record. It 100% is. NFC West record, win-loss. This is where we're just trying to give you some insight as to where they're coming from, because I see it a lot of, that's right, parental guidance, Ryan. I'm seeing a lot of this on Twitter. Monti, Gannon, pack your bags. You guys are done. You're fired. Right. That's not what's happening. And rather than come up here and rage bait, or
we do plenty of that.
Yeah, and sell you stock in something that is not going to transpire. I'm going to tell you, it's not going to transpire. We're trying to understand. Bo, as two adults who cover this team every day, it's like, okay, what's the reason? Why is this happening? And I said this on the show earlier today that we recorded. The staff is not good enough as currently constructed. If you want some hope as a Cardinal fan, they have good players. They had better players than the 49ers did yesterday. But the 49ers have arguably a Hall of Fame level head coach and the best defensive coordinator in the NFL and years of winning and an infrastructure. Their Cardinals, Walter Nolan would be the best defensive lineman for San Francisco. Max Melton and Garrett Williams would be the top two corners on San Francisco, right? Cardinals offensive line, probably better up front. Trey McBride's better than George Kittle, right? Just go on and on. But the problem is Jonathan Gannon made a conscious choice when he put his staff together to go with youth and, not cachet, but like excitement and guys that he believed could motivate.
He trusted that hadn't created any kind of
he thought he was buying stock on the rise, right?
Sure.
Let me go and get a Drew Petzing, a Nick Rollis. Let me get these guys that other organizations speak highly of, rising stars. In hindsight, a Mike Zimmer and Arthur Smith, Mike Munchak that they were almost going to hire in 2023. We covered it at nauseum. That is what is needed now. Maybe it's too late. It could be too late. The experience on the staff, Jonathan Gannon's defense is atrocious right now. He said that as much. I'm a defensive head coach. We can't stop anybody.
Right.
The staff needs to be, if they're going to run it back, which it clearly looks like they're going to have to completely remake the staff in January.
Yeah. Look, they're going to need fresh eyes, but veteran eyes, no doubt about it. I mean, the two major coaching, swaps that they made when Clayton Adams exited, you took Justin Fry, albeit from a national championship program, from the previous level, from the college ranks. He hadn't coached in the NFL. No. Same thing goes for your defensive line coach, not even 30 years old. Coach Debo, love him, love his energy, the juice he brings day in and day out. He's from Minnesota. Both these guys were in the Big Ten. Like the bulk of their college season, they're playing Northwestern and, just easy teams that when you have 3, 4, 5-star offensive linemen, you're going to win. Or defensive linemen. In Debo's case, you went even younger going into year 3. And I think that was a misstep. And I know it was a little bit later in the offseason just because of how things went down with Dallas and their staff and Clayton Adams getting the promotion, the opportunity to go be the OC and title. It messed up what they wanted to do, but they didn't make, I think, the right decision for the staff as a whole. So when you have these struggles and you can go to some person who's had the experience in the NFL and say, well, this is what we did, back when I was on this staff and when I was held this position. It's like you got relatively raw coaching staff from your DBs to your linebackers to your defensive front. And the same goes for the offensive side of the football. There's very little short resumes of big titles for this coaching staff.
It's a coaching league.
Yeah.
And again, especially when you don't have a consistently elite level quarterback play to mitigate coaching flaws, then it magnifies the deficiencies of your staff. And right now, you want to talk about the defense. They got guys running wide open the last 2 weeks. The tackling has been atrocious. The attention to detail with the penalties. You mentioned Justin Fry. I said this earlier today. It's like, you're going to court Justin Fry to come here, and then you're going to fire him after 1 year because the offensive play caller is out of his depth. I would rather, if you want to develop a guy, develop Justin Fry, but get him somebody to appoint to who knows what the F he's doing. Mm-hmm. Not somebody who's going to put him on an island. If I'm Justin Fry, I'm on an island here. I got Ryan Day going back to the national championship. I'm here. I could lose my job,
right?
Because My offensive coordinator is running RPOs on second down inside the 10 with a 32-year-old Jacoby Brissett. I mean, Robert Saleh versus Drew Petzing yesterday, DOA, dead on arrival. It's just, you mentioned it in the studio, Robert Saleh laughing at the Cardinals play calls yesterday. You want me to rip Jonathan Gannon? We got 300 plus people watching right now. If Jonathan Gannon goes down, it's because he is too loyal to his staff that is going to bring him down with him. That when he talked about being a killer on the field, I need Jonathan Gannon to be a killer off the field and gut this staff. If you feel like Jonathan Gannon is an elite leader of men and a culture builder, which he is shown to be off the field, this staff is going to get Gannon fired. And you want to make the argument, who's he going to get in a 1-year deal with people having better options and blah, blah. I have no idea. I know money talks and you know what walks. And he was able to court Justin Fry and he was able to get Nick Rawls once upon a time. The number one priority for this team right now, knowing what we know Jonathan Gannon's safe. We know Monti Ossenfort is safe. We know they're going to trade Kyler Murray or attempt to trade him. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month, go get Brian Dable. Go get Kevin Stefanski. Like, if I'm Monti Ossenfort, I'm waking up in a cold sweat every night. Like, this is the play. This is our play. We need somebody like that to come and save our ass. If we have to start Jacoby Brissett next year to begin the season, or the 10th overall pick, or somebody else, like, that's the priority for this franchise. And the good news is while Gannon might be too close to the situation, which is unfortunate, and have his blinders up, Monti Ossenfort understands the task at hand. Monti Ossenfort cooled on Kyler Murray. Monti Ossenfort understands this needs to happen, and we need to put our next quarterback in a position to be successful, not whatever the hell this is with Drew Petzing every Sunday.
Right. Gannon responds to being on the hot seat. We're going to get to that and continue this conversation next. PHNX Cardinals.
Hit that like button. It's an emotional day. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm an emotional wreck because I didn't get out to Rally House this week and get me some goods using the QR code on the screen. Rally House, the go-to spot to shop all your favorite local Arizona teams, tens of thousands of products to shop from. Again, check out their locations, Tempe, Mesa, and of course, the Glendale location. Drinkware, signage, coolers, jerseys. They got everything. ASU, U of A, Cardinals, Suns. Everything Arizona is ready to go. Each time you visit a Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and matches your game day vibe. Find your local Rally House location. Shop their entire product assortment online, rallyhouse.com, Bo.
Love Rally House and love our team of lawyers over at the husband and wife law team. Over 100 years of trial experience. I saw my guy. I told you, they're an elite follow on Instagram. Mark's out there in Times Square. He's just dropping bars. I mean, this guy is fearless. This is the type of guy you want in the courtroom representing you and trying to get you what you deserve as far as if you faced serious injury or there was an unfortunate wrongful death in your family or in your circle. Check him out right now. Hundreds of years of combined trial experience, multiple certified specialists, personal injury and wrongful death. Check him out right now. Certified specialist by the State Bar of Arizona, practices 100% dedicated to injury, wrongful death. That experience and is specialized and equipped with the expertise to handle every aspect of your case so you can get the money you deserve. And it's not about them cashing checks. It's about you winning your case. Give them a call now, 602-783-8841, 602-783-8841. Follow them on their socials. And, of course, check them out online. You can find the website and the description in the show notes.
Jonathan Gannon met with Bo and the rest of the local Phoenix media. Before he did, I challenged my co-host. I said, Bo, stop shilling for a second. Would you stop that? And I said, will you ask Jonathan Gannon today the messaging for the fans, Bo? And how do you think he responded?
I thought I kind of got off easy because our guy Nick from AZ Family asked him like probably the hardest question of the afternoon for any head coach about being on the hot seat. So I just kind of followed that up. Like I got my softball arm ready after that, after Nick asked the toughie. But, you know, I don't mind what he said. I mean, I don't think there was not much to it. I think what you were looking for, and I might be wrong, you can tell me, You wanted maybe more of an explanation of what's gone wrong and how there was going to be a plan to fix it, where JG was kind of short, sweet, to the point.
Let's hear it.
Stick with us. We'll get it turned around.
It's getting ratioed on my Twitter account right now.
I thought that it might. I thought maybe that is where it was going a little bit. I'm not going to do like third consecutive week of me playing Gannon or Petsy on this Monday show. Here's what I would say.
Petsy performance is all time.
I appreciate that. I'm up for an Emmy, local Emmy for that. Yeah, big old nothing burger. I mean, like, I think we're past the point where he's ever going to apologize, maybe, for how the season has gone. Let me ask you this. The rationale on, yesterday with the penalties felt like kind of an excuse, and it was one-sided. It's like, oh, we knew that staff was going to throw a lot of flags. Well, the Niners had one penalty. And then you talked about, like, kudos to the 49ers. I thought we beat ourselves. You lost by 20 plus points. I'm not sure about that. Do you feel like there's a little bit of Jonathan Gannon right now that, I don't want to say like insincerity, but it just almost feels like maybe we're not worthy of like some answers to some of these questions? Because that is sometimes the vibe that the fan base gets. It's just like, if you're a little bit more on, and we've had this conversation all year, if there's a little bit more honesty involved, like maybe we could help us understand why a team that has had 3 years of resources is getting blown out in back-to-back divisional games in November in the which should have been the coup de grace, the culmination of your rebuild. Like, give us an idea. And it comes off as, well, it's us. It's not them. It's just us. We're self-inflicted. Like, even when he started talking about, it was 19-7 and the Cardinals had, or 17-9, I don't remember what it was. The Cardinals had that run called back, the touchdown to Bam Knight.
60-yarders, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you held on that play.
So it didn't matter. Game. Yeah.
But it didn't, and that's, but we're like making excuses about, well, if the hold doesn't happen, that's the NFL. I don't care about what ifs.
Right.
Why are you always, I'm gonna have a question. Why are you always down? Why are you playing from behind every week? Why are all these divisions like multiple 2-3 possession games? You're not close right now. And so I would assume I thought we'd get some answers specific to, like, hey, we're not close, and here's why, and here's what we're not doing. It's almost like you're trying to sell people on something that doesn't exist right now.
Right. Well, I think it's trying to, because here's what I'll say. I think people would appreciate transparency.
Yeah.
People want transparency. They want somebody to take accountability for why things have gone so awry, why things are so below the standard that they expected. And I think that as far as those answers, as far as that answer, it comes from, I can't give you much because of what you're saying, because one, it would come off as disingenuous. People wouldn't buy it. Beyond, like, if you went in depth on it, but also it would because he's in protect mode as far as his players and his coaching staff.
Yeah.
And I know people don't like that, but that's just me speculating why.
No, it's exactly what's happening.
That if he shed like any kind of true light on it, it would expose, where they're really kind of struggling.
People want heads to roll. People want people fired. Here's another nugget for everybody here. We got 320 watching live. Do us a favor, hit that like, and then I'd love to get 5 supporters by the end of the show, because I do feel like we're dropping some info that's not out there yet. A lot of people are clamoring for him to be fired. He's not going to be fired.
Yeah.
Let's get 5 new supporters before the end of the show. Click that join button, become a member of the supporter. I'm going to drop another nugget here. Jonathan Gannon.
Wait, this is one of those moments like what this podcast is prepared to tell you?
This podcast is prepared to tell you.
Wow. Okay.
Jonathan Gannon is not going to be influenced. He's not being influenced by Ossenfort or Bidwill to fire anybody during the season.
Okay.
So with each passing week, it feels like the staff is going to remain intact, which is crazy. I'm not saying that's the right decision. You know what this podcast would have done last January. Drew Petzing, Jeff Rodger. I mean, like, you get blown out 85-44, no one gets fired. Well, what does that tell you? What that tells me, well, what I've been told specifically, and what that tells me is Jonathan Gannon is in complete control of the coaching staff. He's not being influenced by Michael Bidwill or Monti Ossenfort, and he also doesn't feel the pressure to fire somebody for fear of losing his job. So if you're questioning right now, like, why isn't Gannon firing people? Why isn't Gannon feeling the heat? Because he's not feeling the heat from ownership. That's the prime example we can give you. If he is not feeling the pressure to fire somebody off of his staff, then he sure as hell does not feel the pressure to be fired in January. That's exclusive to this show. If Michael Bidwill and Monti Ossenfort came to Jonathan Gannon and said, you got to get Drew out of here. You got to get Justin Fry. You got to get Jeff Rodgers out of here. That's not what's happening at all. No one's asked Gannon to fire anybody. So guess what? He's not firing anybody.
And that goes back to what we were talking about in our first segment. And I'll ask you this, like, is that the right move?
I mean, like, what harm is it to let Drew Terrell call plays for 7 weeks while you get a head start on your OC search?
Well, it's just like, I know that's been lopsided the last 2 weeks, but there's also been inexcusable moments, during a 5-game losing streak, including a loss to the hapless, rudderless, drebs of the NFL, Tennessee Titans.
Can I comment on this, Bo? This
is
Bo Budwell. You're telling us what the team wants us to hear, not what the fans want to hear. Bo in the chat, the team did not tell me this, okay? And I want to tell you what you want to hear because it's what I want to hear, that they're going to take a wrecking ball and they're going to make major changes and everybody's going to be held accountable. Here's where I'm at.
I don't know what people want us to just live in this fairy tale land.
You want me to come out here?
Where things aren't going to happen. It's like, prepare yourself. Like if we were to tell you what we wanted, this show wouldn't be accurate. We'd be just sitting there in La La Land. Johnny Shill, blast.
You only guy want to shill for some of that sweet.
I know Joey's having fun. I hope Joey's having fun.
I'd love to shill for some monies, for some merch, for some tickets. I'd chill all the way into a casita right now. Put me and my family in a casita over doing this pod. Hell yeah, I'll shill till the cows come home. I know you're kidding, Joey. Listen,
where you're 3-7 and you're light years away from the rest of the division. Like before, I understood like the survival tactic of keeping your main offensive play caller in place, but now it's just like, if you can't keep it within 20, what the F does it matter? Send a message.
Robert Saw is like, you can have as much faux yardage as you want, Drew Petzing. You're not getting in the end zone until the game is over. It's 14-18 or whatever, or it's 41-18 or whatever it was. Hey, Drew, I have fun with your faux yards. Robert Saw is like, I'm going to be a head coach. What are you going to be? Tight ends coach next year in, Minnesota. That's what you're going to, I mean, that's how they're laughing at you.
Alaska somewhere.
Yeah. It's just like, hey guys, we got a 100-year-old tight end, a running back that's almost 30 and a quarterback off the couch. And we're going to hang 40 on you like it's nothing. That's how I feel. Yeah. It's a joke. It's an embarrassment. The product's an embarrassment. It's painful to watch and cover. I mean, like, I would have fired Drew Petzing last January. Here's what I would have said. Yeah. I would have, Bo, you give people your opinion and benefit of hindsight. I came on the show in January last year after the season was over. I said, fire Drew Petzing, get Kyler Murray a new OC. This is not a good fit. I've watched too much. They've melted down. They're 2-5 down the stretch. They're not close to the Rams or the Seahawks. And they said, no, we're going to run it back. That was the mistake.
Right.
And now, like, Drew has no business calling plays. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to fast forward to January, I think. And his contract's going to expire and they're going to go find somebody else. Mm-hmm. But they're not going to fire him. They're not going to have the fanfare. You're not going to get that justification. And then the new offensive coordinator is going to decide who to pick position coaches. But they should have fired Drew last January. I've been consistent with that take.
Yeah. Regardless of what they do at the offensive coordinator position, I mean, when they look at this organization, they have to figure out what's separating them and why is their standard so far off from the rest of the division standard. And it goes back to last January, where the other teams in this division were making drastic moves on areas of their football team that some other organizations, probably including the Cardinals, would have accepted. But Seattle said, no more Geno Smith.
I've had enough.
No more Grubb. He's one and done. Shanahan said, no more Wilkes. Go get me Saleh again. He's available.
Kyle Shanahan was basically belittling Steve Wilkes during the year last year.
McVay's like,
get this guy out of here.
I think under my system, like a lot of players, Devontae Adams can come in and be a really good player. And they just continued to do to get to their standard.
John,
and you're going to have to do it without the benefit of truly knowing it. But you have to be able to figure out how you can get in the right, you can point the needle in that direction.
If you're Michael Bidwill,
start by wanting more from your coaching staff and your players.
Let's put Michael Bidwill off to the side for a second. If you're Monti Ossenfort and your job depends on it, you need to have a come to football Jesus moment with your head coach and say, Jonathan, I believe in you. I believe in your messaging. You were the first name on my list. You were worth the tampering issue. You have to be more cutthroat with your staff. He's too loyal to his staff.
Yeah.
It's his biggest issue. I would say you can almost come out and give the assumption that he is not a great evaluator of coaching talent as it stands right now, allowing Clayton Adams to leave and continuing to empower Drew Petzing. I think that's fair. I think until he develops a coach underneath him and has success, how can you say he's a great evaluator of coaching?
Mm-hmm.
The talent's not perfect on this team. They've had guys miss time. What we've witnessed the last 2 weeks, Mike McDonald looked at the Cardinals' offensive operation and spit on it and laughed at it. Robert Saleh with XFL street free agents did the same thing yesterday. And Gannon is scoffing at the notion of firing coaches. That is a problem. Even for somebody, I am as pro Gannon as possible. That is a huge problem that you can't see the forest through the trees with the fact, like, it's okay to admit, like, we gave this guy some run. It didn't work out. We're going to move on because I don't want to have to sell my house. I don't want to have to relocate my family. He said today on the flagship station, this is my dream job. Okay, man, then you need to make some changes to get people bought in. Everybody wants you gone right now. What are you prepared to do?
Right.
Because right now it's prepared. He looks like he's prepared to just status quo it up.
But that's where it gets back to the first segment conversation is, if he's been given this blessing of another season and there's full autonomy as far as the coaching staff and the decisions, it's all him. Is it just like they're gonna in passing suggest things, or you got to be more like, is it organizationally, if you're going to be the brain trust, maybe work more in concert and say, hey, this isn't working, this isn't meeting what we need to have as our standard, so we have to pivot off of this. And I know like we love to talk ball about with this guy, and he seems like he knows a lot, but when you apply it to as far as how it helps us win football games, it's not there. We need to go find somebody that can help us win football games.
Hey, you're not losing games because you lost Tip Ryman and James Conner. Cut the BS. No one's buying that. We're going to continue the conversation around the break. Do us a favor, hit that like button for a heated episode of PHNX Cardinals. We're back in a flash. Again, I need saving grace, and I need it in the form of the Circle K meal deal matrix. I need it badly. $3, $4, and $5 meal deal. I told my daughter, I said, no dinner tonight at home, sweetie. We're going Circle K. We're hitting it hard. And she said, hell yeah, Dad. And she's 6 years old. $5 meal deal, 2 slices of za, any Coca-Cola or Pepsi product up to 44 ounces. $4 meal deal, Circle K breakfast Sammy hash brown, 16-ounce Monster or medium coffee or Polar Pop. And, of course, my favorite, the $3 meal deal. Hot dog, chips, Polar Pop, $3 out the door, literally saving me in this economy. Join the Inner Circle for free. by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
So excited to look down at our ad sheet and see that our friends over at APS are back with us here at PHNX. That's right. They got smart thermostats as low as $0. Johnny, have you turned on the heat in your house yet?
I haven't. I like to keep it a little chilly boy.
I like that. But at some point you're going to have to do that. And of course, us living here in the desert, once those summer months hit, you're going to want to have to save big on your thermostat. Why not do it with a smart thermostat for $0? APS.com/sale. Shipping, taxes not included. Other restrictions apply. But if you're like me, you use technology to make things easier. Get the app right now. Tap into your smart thermostat and save big, because they've got the best way you can do so over at APS. Entertaining is a big part of the holidays, which are coming up. Making guests comfortable and keeping energy costs manageable. It's a tough line to walk, but you can do it with your friends over at APS. Tap into their smart thermostat for as low as $0. APS.com/sale. As I said, shipping, taxes not included. Other restrictions apply. APS.com/sale.
Do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to PHNX Sports. This is the Showboy Hour, and it continues on. Hit that like button.
I can't stop shilling.
Shill harder. Do me a favor and shill even harder.
I'm Kurt shilling on this show program.
That's
how bad I'm shilling.
Hit me with some more JG Presser clips, Bo. I need them. And here.
All right. How about Gannon was asked by Nick of AZ Family over there about being on the hot seat. It was Gannon's answer.
Of those things reach you, hearing it, seeing it, but how does it hit you if it does? Your name associated with it?
Yeah, not a controllable for me. I didn't hire myself. I'm not going to fire myself. So seriously, no, I know it comes up. That's the business we're in. If you don't want to be in that business, we laugh, we joke, go work somewhere else. I'm going to control the controllables for myself. I come to work and do the best job that I can and try to get our team in position to win a game.
Pretty authentic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to fire myself. I didn't hire myself. As far as just kind of focusing on what he can do, just wants to make sure he's not going to read the press clippings and feel the heat that way and kind of drown out the noise. I get that.
Jeff asking, this is a good question. Does Jonathan Gannon know what the standard is? He knows Cliff Kingsbury has a better winning percentage than him and went to the playoffs. He's aware of that. He knows the expectations in year 3. I agree with that, Alex. Good mindset for him. I think Jonathan Gannon is very self-aware. I think sometimes his press conferences are not as authentic as he actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like he is loyal to a fault, and we've seen that this year.
Yeah.
And I also think that he does not see the benefit of firing coaches in season.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to see the benefit of moving on from coaches. And he has, right?
But he fired defensive line pass rush coach.
Yeah, he fired guys that were given literally chicken crap as far as players.
That's with all due respect to Jesse Luketa, who I couldn't tell you where he's at in the NFL, or Victor Dumakagi, or Dennis Gardeck. Gardeck,
he's incoming.
Jags.
He's incoming.
Look out.
Oh man.
Poor defensive line coach. Listen, all your players are hurt. We're not signing anyone. Here's some street free agents. Do your best. And the defense was way better last year than it was this year.
Well, I think as far as your question, does he know the standard, or was the question in the chat, does he know the standard? I think you have a good sense of where it should be, but as far as realizing it and seeing it in real time and in your organization, within your organization, when you don't have veteran coaches that have been there and seen it all, and then maybe could if you're going the wrong way, repivot you back the right direction. I don't think that's there. I think as far as Monti's been in front offices, he's been part of the Patriot way, and we've shown that the Patriot way really only works in New England and Foxborough. What they know, it's very kind of their path it's Monti, it's JG, and just like the organization before they came here, the only thing they knew were the things that were happening within those walls. And I think that kind of stunts your ability to know which way you need to go to grow.
I mean, like, ask yourself this. Do you feel like they've done a great job developing players? I would argue that no, for, outside of your Paris Johnson Juniors, some of the players from 2023, like I would say they've done a below average job of that. Okay, couple that with the fact that when was the last time you went to a game and you're like, they outcoached that team? I think only the Cowboy game this year.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they outcoached Carolina or New Orleans. I think they had better talent and they just played backyard football at times. That's the biggest issue with this team right now. The coaching disadvantage. The talent is good. It's not great. It's not good enough alone to help you win games. You don't have game breakers offensively outside of Trey McBride. And then defensively, yeah, but consistently, like touchdown scores.
Kept parked in the garage for
right. That's another conversation. Hey, Michael, you're a good player. Let's just throw you 15 balls or 18 balls. Oh, he's really good. The coaching on Sundays, the game planning on Sundays is not good enough. Jonathan Gannon, and where I think this actually works to his benefit, he is not putting together the game plan for offense or defense. He is the CEO coach. And you could say, well, what would you say you do here? Well, that's what he does. He oversees this team, the culture, the mentality, whatever you want to call it, how you want to put a label on it. That's what he oversees. So then you look down at the next two guys. Okay, Drew Petzing's in charge of the offense. Nick Rollis is in charge of the defense. Drew Petzing's had 3 years to put together a consistent unit, has had a ton of talent. He has, I think, unequivocally failed, and that has run its course. He hasn't developed players good enough. You still see Marv with some bad habits. The offensive line has regressed. Guys like Michael Wilson haven't been given up enough opportunities. He's been too reliant on the run. And then on the flip side with Nick Rollis, like, I think that you can make an argument the defense and the defense inability to build off of last year, which what we thought was a strong performance in 2024, has been the biggest disappointment of the year outside of the Clayton Adams debacle.
Yeah.
We thought, take the ball away, be physical, dominate the line of scrimmage. How many interceptions they dropped yesterday? Niners don't drop interceptions.
No. It made both of the opportunities that they got. Cardinals did not. Jalen Thompson, Max Melton, both had a chance to take the ball away, and it was in spots during the game that it would have put the offensive position to chip away. Yeah, you did think, hey, just with a boost as far as players, that this defense was going to be a problem, and it's been anything but that. It's been consistently inconsistent. It's really unfortunate. And Gannon said it yesterday. He's like, I'm a defensive coach. You can't have that where your defense isn't buttoned up and the scoreboard reflects 40 plus points for the opposing team. You can get into like, okay, they had 2 defensive scores the previous week, but they're still surrendering too many points.
They're a sieve defensively. They're an embarrassment. I mean, like, the offense, it is what it is at this point. It's inconsistent. It's empty calories. You're missing James Conner, Tip Ryman, Boo-hoo, Kyler Murray. You soft bench, place him on IR for Jacoby Brissett. Like, you made your bed there. Defensively, it's like Darius, Walter Nolan, Josh Sweat, Calais, Dalvin, Jordan Birch, all these, Zaven Collins. You had to keep Zaven Collins. Like, you got your ass kicked 2 weeks in a row. You gave up 80 plus points with the players that you picked, you hand selected. You want to cry and complain about, well, Mac Wilson Sr.'s out. Did you see Fred Warner play for San Francisco? I didn't. Or Nick Bosa or Mykel Williams. I mean, like, I don't. They have a coaching problem with the Arizona Cardinals today. Today, the Cardinals' biggest issue is they're consistently getting out game planned and out coached. Well, if the head coach is going to remain, the easiest way to do that, like I asked somebody close to the situation, would they consider firing Nick Rollis?
Mm-hmm.
And that is not an option for this team right now. Like, I don't know if, like, how this can continue and you're going to keep Nick Rollis. I think like, because he would need a new deal. He would need a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
His contract expires in January.
Yeah.
I mean, you've given up 80 points in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen rough patches from this defense. I mean, before it was because they didn't have the talent. Now it's like you don't really have any excuse. I know you're down a player here and a player there, but for the most part, you're at full strength on that side of the football.
I agree with this. Sorry, Bo. Everything is an option.
Sure. And yeah, I mean, it comes without having to like blow out your staff because where they are contractually, you just have an opportunity to just say, we're not bringing you back. We're going to pivot elsewhere. Rollis would be the biggest surprise to me because of just followed JG, appeared like he's on had the inside track to be a head coach and an upcoming, play caller. Like I'm going to say that this is a slump right now more so than who Rollis is, but he's going to have to prove you different. He's going to have to change the way that they play defense.
Can't stink up the joint last 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
It is a coaching malpractice happening right now. And I understand you're missing players. Every team's missing players. Yeah. Guess who doesn't want to hear that? Your fans don't want to hear that. I mean, clearly you've underutilized some guys. We saw that yesterday with Michael Wilson. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to take a quick look at the Cardinals draft standings with some statistics on gross charts. And then we got a lot of super chats. So we need to dive into that. We're coming right back. Hit that like button. Super chats coming up. It's PHNX. Big thanks to our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union, one of my favorite partners, in part because I am a proud member of the financial credit union that's making a difference here in the Valley and beyond. They rep Arizona Cardinals, ASU, Northern Arizona University. I'm going to tell you right now, I had a credit union for a long time, had issues, transaction issues, banking issues. I have since pivoted. It's been the best decision financially with a credit union that has a team of financial experts committed to their members like me, like you, offering financial solutions tailored to helping real-life people achieve their financial goals and dreams. And right now, when you open up a free checking account online, Bo, you get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200 to get started.
Bet365, baby. I was cashing some checks yesterday thanks to my co-host throwing together. Nice little boosted parlay. Nice little stack that I get to go into Monday Night Football and a 50% super profit boost tokens going on same game parlays. Going to jump back into it. Feel like I'm going to ride the hot hand. It's never ordinary with Bet365. See yourself with the same game parlays. Sunday's offer that's going on, qualifying parlay bets totaling $20 or more on Sunday's NFL games. Do that next week. Get up to $25 in bonus bets. You've got to download the app. Use the code PHNX365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. Pro, college, NBA, NHL. You got it going. College hoops. Bet365. New customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose, sign up. Use the promo code PHNX365. If you or someone has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text next step to 53342 and visit problemgambling.az.gov. Must be 21 years or older and physically located in Arizona.
Hit that like button. Any more clips from JG you want to hit on in terms of let's do this one on the locker room right now, Bo.
Let's listen to it.
Above, they're not happy. They're disappointed. They're frustrated. But like I said last night, like we got good enough guys. They come to work. You know what I mean? And that's all you can ask. And they want to be part of the solution as well. I know that. They come up and tell me that, and that's a good thing. So just got to do a little bit better. But I'd be lying to say it's cheerful in there right now,
Go back to what Britton Golden told us last week where he thought he already lost part of the locker room. I mean, that's the quickest way to be ousted as head coach, and they don't feel like that has happened yet. But it also, I think we saw it when they were collapsing in the fourth quarter of handful of games. You had this anxiety with this team that you could almost feel through the TV or in person where it's like, yeah, we're going to blow it. We know we're going to blow it. And yeah, we know we're not in the class of the Seahawks or the 49ers. Whereas like the first year with this franchise under JG, it was like, we don't know how good we are and we don't know how bad we are. We're going to play above our capabilities. It doesn't feel like that anymore. And that's a problem.
No, it all feels like kind of lip service, right? Where it's just like, hey, guys are frustrated, they're mad, but hey, man, they're showing up. They got their lunch pail, putting their pants on same way we do, getting up. Once their alarm goes off, they're coming in, they're putting their work in, and that's all well and good. But until this team kind of reestablishes its identity, because it doesn't have one as a team here in 2025, it's going to be tough to hear anything like that and have it kind of resonate, mean something. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Cardinals have to establish, Johnny, that like this is who we are. This is how we win football games. Because I don't know what that looks like right now. It don't like it feels like the furthest way from it. They have to do what they did. Like when you talk about 2023 and 2024, like even with undermanned rosters, it's like you have to have physicality at the line of scrimmage. You have to have physicality just overall as a football team. They don't have that. They've got to have discipline, situational discipline. Situational discipline is worse than maybe even the overall discipline. Like it seems like every big moment they're shooting themselves in the foot. And then you get into like what you were mentioning, like the takeaways, the explosive plays. Like once you get all that, then those could matter. But otherwise, it's just those are stats at the end of the game that are empty calories.
They don't do anything well. Nothing. They used to be the number one team. Penalties allowed. Now they're like middle of the pack, bottom tier. They've never really taken the ball away much, but they don't now. Like we expected them to take the ball away with a revamped pass rush from front seven. They don't do that. They can't stop the run. They give up big explosives, as you mentioned. And then offensively, they're bad in the red zone. They can't run the ball anymore. They ignored, like, listen, people scoffed at the notion at the time. We knew Trey Benson was going to be out well into November. We did shows before, the trade deadline and Halloween. We said, Trey Benson's going to be out. Jobs are on the line, right? People, livelihoods are on the line. You got Jacoby Brissett, who should not be throwing 57 times a game. Ship a 6th rounder, go get it back to help stabilize some things. They scoffed at that. They didn't make a deal. Now you're running Bam Knight and DeMercado, who's injured, and Michael Carter. And it's like, well, no, you know what? You can't run the football.
Right.
You went into this year with James Conner, who, unfortunately has a reputation of missing some time. You turn the backfield over to Trey Benson, immediately gets hurt, immediately proves he's not the guy, at least in the interim, not back from injury yet. They can't run the ball right now. Well, nobody feels sorry for you. You made this the personnel. This is the number one takeaway for. We have 400 people watching right now. That Bo and I want to emphasize. We do not feel sorry for the Cardinals. They have made their own bed with this. They are responsible for these decisions on and off the field. And yes, you should hold them accountable, as we do every day. The decisions they have made have not been good enough. And this year, it's come to a head to the point where they are the laughingstock in the NFC West. You've had 3 years to put this together, and people are laughing at you, and your fans are shutting you off. And we had people in our postgame show yesterday saying, I was at the game today, I'm a season ticket holder, I left in the third quarter. I've never done that before. You have to own that. You have to eat that. And it should eat at you. And that's partially why I'm convinced Monti Ossenfort is ready to make major changes. Is the head coach, if Jonathan Gannon opts to do a hit with us at the combine, which I would assume he will, are they prepared to make the necessary adjustments? Because this is what you can argue, and this is what does piss me off about the messaging today. You're not close. You're not a tweak away. You're not a healthy James Conner in 2026 away from competing. You need to do what Seattle did times 10. Major effing swings. Major swings. Trading up. Trading players. Firing coaches. Instead, we're going to tweak something here. I'm going to run everything back, and we're going to play it safe and look at the Calais retirement tour. And we're just going to, slow. We're not going to play anybody in the preseason because, God forbid, we do that. Sean Payton played everybody. Look how that's working out. Everything you have done to this point has been incorrect. It's like Seinfeld, George, opposite. We need to just do the opposite now, right? Opposite Cardinals. You wanted to make this move? Actually, do this. Do the opposite.
Preach. I love it. I mean, it's a path forward, and like you'll get us back hook, line, and sinker if they make some big splashes in the offseason. But it's going to take a little bit more. It's going to be a sludge through the preseason if it's the same thing again, like in training camp. Like you have to understand, like when you talk about trust the process and be true to your process and dial that in, like the process is proven to be faulty. You got to find a new process.
Your process is wrong. And are they prepared to have people tell them to their face?
Yeah.
What you think, your instincts are incorrect. Your instincts to rely on Drew Petzing over Clayton Adams, wrong. Your instincts to basically have Rallis run the defense alone, incorrect. He has to have the self-awareness this offseason, Bo, to bring in guys who got a little gray hair, who have seen some things to help mitigate this. The NFC West has eaten them alive. They are non-competitive.
Spin them out. Yeah.
They said, what else we got?
Against the best team in the division.
Seattle's like,
the best team.
You'll never beat us. We laugh at your players. We laugh at you. Hey, guess what? Let's just keep everybody status quo. I mean, the fan base, and we're going to be right there with you every show. The fan base is ready to destroy them. I looked at, while you were doing your ad read, the post that on PHNX Cardinals about stick with us. I mean, we got to get to the end of the season. But he's safe right now. They got to win some games. We got to get to the end of the season, though. I don't think anything is guaranteed.
Yeah. We got to get to these super chats. You guys are crushing it. So generous with your time, your money, making some great points up here. Let's start with Desert Vulture, Johnny. $5. Our last two head coaches, 0 experience, and it's being exposed. Next year might be worse.
I don't think anything can be worse than this year. Next year will be better. I don't know if that for this is the worst season of Cardinal football, maybe of my life. How is this? This is the worst season of Cardinal football of my life.
Maybe because you're closer to it, but they've definitely had.
No, this is the worst.
Horrendous season.
No, this is the worst.
What about when they started like 4-0 and then they proceeded to drop like the next 12?
Then they got Bruce Arians. I was at the game when they were 4-0 at the Edward Jones Dome, and Kevin Cobb got sacked like 10 times, got his brains beaten in, and and it was just like, and then they lost. Kevin Winslow got fired. This is the worst season though.
Yeah.
Check back in January, but this is the worst season because of the expectations were through the roof. Vegas thought they were winning 9 to 10 games.
Yeah.
Hi, Kyle. Trade for Kyler to LA for Herbert. Jim Harbaugh loves Herbert. LA loves Herbert. Kyler.
Phones, $9.99. Here's Arizona's future for the next 3 weeks. AZ looks competent versus Jags. An awful Bucs defense. K1 haters rejoice. Then reality kicks back in after getting our ass smashed by the Rams. Division games are the real gauge.
Alphones, they're not. I don't think they're beating the Bucs or the Jags.
Great.
Jags are a winning team. Cardinals haven't been a winning team.
The Jags match up with the Cardinals horribly for the Redbirds.
Duval's like, I'll come in year one and win 10 games.
Keeping it going, Libertarian Sasquatch, $4.99. A tale as old as time. Bad coach keeps his job, drafts a quarterback, gets himself fired the next year. New coach will be forced to like whoever that rookie quarterback is.
I don't know if they drafted a QB. They're picking 10th right now. They've got a 16% chance to have a top 5 pick. They've got like a 60% chance to have a top 10 pick.
You got that right? We got that chart?
Yeah. Can we see the gross chart? Blech. Gross charts, impromptu, Cardinals via Twitter.
Gross charts.
The projected draft pick of the Cardinals, 9, just behind the Rams, dear God. And then to get
How about that news today? The Rams, who have the Falcons pick, because the Falcons needed to get back into round 1, and they gave up a future first so they could get James Pierce. And Penix is lost for the season, so you've got the corpse of Kirk Cousins coming out there. And you've got no Drake London in the near future. So that pick's going to just get higher. That game later in the season becomes pivotal as far as draft stock goes. Bengals will probably win some games if Burrow comes back. Looks like he will. Washington will win some games. But you could get, but once you get to like New York, Vegas, New Orleans, like you're not going to have worse record than those teams.
Saints.
I think you're kind of locked out of the top 6.
Saints play the Falcons a couple times. And the Falcons play the Jets. I don't think the Falcons are dead yet. Let's get back to the super chats. Joey Kennedy, competitive football, lesser than record-setting performances, meaning Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett up for Player of the Week through the air.
FedEx Air Player of the Week.
Yep. Dana R.
I saw that. I was like, the face that Jacoby made to that Seattle fan. It's kind of like, huh? Really? Statistically, maybe. Yeah. How about Dana's been a member for 2 months? Thank you, Dana. Timing issues, route depth, O-line struggles, failing to defend the sticks, poor tackling, not capitalizing on pressure, and the problems remain the same.
100%. Everybody who watches the game knows that they have a coaching problem. And that's why it's fair to wonder, like, why should these coaches be here at the end of the year?
Buanaki jumping in. Are we sure JG will let DP go at the end of the season, Drew Petzing or Rawlis? Is he so afraid of change? It's basically confirmed he won't go big game hunting for offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator.
Monti Ossenfort, I would assume, would force his hand, Buanaki. They're not going to. They understand. Monty's letting him do his thing right now because he respects him, as does Michael Bidwill. January, we know what this is. And it almost feels like Gannon, like, not to get off a tangent ball, but like Kyle Shanahan fires defensive coordinators like it's going out of style.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks, Gannon like takes offense to it. It's just like, God forbid one of my coaches isn't good enough. It's just like, that's the NFL, man. We're not going to hold it against you, but it makes it worse when you double down on these guys.
Yeah. I feel like this offseason, even though it hasn't produced good results, but the offseason Monty had in 2024 and the offseason he had in 2025, that he learned from his mistakes, and instead of trying to go like bargain shopping and still spending, pretty decent cap space on Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols and Sean Murphy Bunting, that he went out and got guys that, could still make an impact and was willing to pay what price it took to get impact type players in free agency. That Ossenfort and the team kind of pivoting off of those mistakes he made in the previous free agent offseason showed growth. So like you have to show growth, like players have to show development, general manager has to show development, and the coaching staff has to show development, especially as they're unproven, coaches. Keeping it going here in the super chats. You guys are unbelievable. Desert Vulture, $5. Johnny, reminder, Dennis Gardeck revenge game. How many sacks will he get? If he gets 2, you owe the fans what? What will you do, Johnny?
2 sacks? I don't know. What would you like me to do? I'm already in enough pain. You want to cause me more pain? Here's what I'll do. I'll watch this team for 6 more weeks after that. How about that, Desert Vulture?
I think you should have to do a chug on the watch along.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I'll do a small chug.
No, you don't get to add small chug. You do a chug, normal size chug.
It's so nice having Mo on the watch along this week. He brought wings. He brought good vibes.
Milwaukee Braves, $4.99. I know you're going to say something mean after that. You guys think there's a realistic chance Drew stays on?
Zero. what are we doing here? You can't bring back a coach that's 20 games under 500 and then let his whole staff hang around.
Love seeing the JV chugs in the chat. You guys are really making use of your supporters emojis.
I dropped some news over the last 18 hours, and this is how I'm repaid. Wow, that's hurtful.
Dana Ballnauer's back for $5. Why should fans believe at this point that next year will be any different? We're supposed to build off last season, not watch a rerun.
I think just, Shane Steichen turnaround. I believe in the players. I think they have good players. And I think your 2023 draft class is under contract. Your 2024 draft class is under contract. This year's draft class is good. You're going to get another draft class, another free agent haul, and hopefully people who know what the F they're doing from a coaching standpoint. That's how. And then you're going to get a last place schedule, and you're going to play a bunch of slop teams. But
you're going to play the NFC East and the AFC West.
Suck it up. Win games.
You get the Raiders and you get the Giants are going to be better. Giants going to have to do what he never wanted to have to do and root against Cam Scatterby when he gets back.
He might put up 200 on this team. Who's playing quarterback for this team next year? Who is Monti Ossenfort getting at quarterback to get them to the playoffs next year? That is crazy. That's the number one headline of the offseason.
Yeah.
Drew's fired. You get a Dable or Stefanski. What quarterback are they getting to basically save everybody's ass? Mm-hmm. I can't wait. I'm front row. We'll tell you I tell you right now, we'll tell you before anybody else will when we know. That's a promise. If you subscribe.
An elite $20. Ghost of Pat Tilley. Thank you so much. New OC who says he knows how to use K1 properly in K1 in 2026 week 1 starter. Plausible? Possible?
My understanding is they would get a new OC with the expectation Kyler wouldn't be here. But I'm not cutting Kyler Murray. Are you insane to cut Kyler Murray? Look at this slop around the NFL.
Brian Abdallah jumping in front of the show. $2. Petzing has better job security than Bo and JV. Is that possible?
False. We are irreplaceable, respectfully.
How about this? Steven Jackson gifting a PHNX Sports membership. Who is the beneficiary of that? I got to find out. Thank you,
hopefully
Steven.
Me. I'm already a member. Robbo, $5. Bo, we had a defensive-heavy draft. We had a defensive-oriented free agency. We have a defensive-minded head coach. What's going on D, fellas? Slop.
Poor performances.
They stink. They can't tackle anybody either.
Yeah. Ozzy got it. Great. Love to see Ozzy benefit from that. Ozzy's a friend of the show as well.
Love Ozzy.
There you go. Keem Davis Gaither. Can't watch any more of that guy play football.
Cut him and Jonah Williams yesterday. Goodbye.
Our guy Ray Fram. I can see Drew Petzing as a water boy or a towel boy next season. Then again, we'll probably mess that up too.
Let's just reminisce some of our favorite play calls from Drew yesterday. I really enjoyed the RPO. I really enjoyed 3rd and 8. Cardinals were on their own 20. Like a line of scrimmage pass to Greg Dortch on 3rd and 8. It's like, and that was when Saul was just laughing. He was just laughing at what the team was doing. I really liked the direct snap to Michael Carter on the 2-point conversion. That was one of my favorites too. A big back like Michael Carter being able to ram it in there. That'll work 10 out of 10 times. What were some of your favorites, Bo?
I mean, I think making the greatest hits list, CD, the WoW, Drew Petzing, greatest hits album is going to be the RPO 32-year-old immobile Jacoby Brissett.
I liked when they ran the QB sneak and they got 3 yards, but they failed to ever run it the last couple of weeks.
Right.
I like that.
That was good.
I was a fan of that. Ryan Walker, $5. What do you guys think about Trey McBride's unsportsmanlike conduct penalty?
Weak.
If Trey McBride's not an all-pro, quit the NFL. PFA writers.
The Trey McBride personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, the Beecham hold, phantom hold, the Pharaoh Brown hold that negated the 60-yard touchdown, like those all were bad calls.
Really bad. The officials sucked yesterday, but the Cardinals sucked more, so we can't complain about them.
It's 7-0 before you even sit down in your seat. That's not on the officials.
The Cardinals were an embarrassment. Brian, $2. When you hire young staff equals accept growing pains, but those pains have been growing for 3 years, Brian.
Yeah. Well, that's the approach. That's the philosophy. It's not Johnny and I saying, got to give them time. You got to let them, you have to accept the growing pains. But that is the approach, I think, organizationally. They're like, we're going to take the good with the bad with this organization.
Time's up. You've run out of time. You ran out of time about a month ago. If you're Drew Petzing and Clayton Adams is gone and he's thriving elsewhere, you need to be great.
Oh, yeah. And I don't think it's going to be in the form of complete like copy paste 24 to 25 to 26. How about JX6? These poor German guys. What a dump this team is right now.
I think you just need to go into a game with the disclaimer that this team may embarrass themselves and or you. Yeah. It's like our guy, Coach Starks, went to Seattle and watched that. He was like, I don't know. I don't want to cancel my trip. He booked it, months in advance. He wanted to take his beautiful family up to Pac Northwest and take in what should have been a competitive game. And it was a nightmare. I'm leaving a nightmare, Bo.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for the German guys. I mean, it does suck that this was the game that they got to watch, but they got to beat Trey McBride. They got they got the red carpet.
I like the play. We like the players. The players are great. I love the players.
They got to go to the facility. Like they had, I'm sure they had a blast. So those guys were doing like a meet and greet.
Also, they were drunk the whole time. Who cares? They're trying to drink. Love it. Goes to Pat Tilley, back-to-back 20s. We appreciate you, my guy.
Yes.
So much. If Clayton Adams is gone is the reason for the O-line regression, what's the coaching reason on D for the regression from 2024? A year ago, Rouse was a year away from being a head coach. This is a great question.
Mm-hmm.
They have better players on defense. Unequivocally, they have better players. They've had players that have been in their system, so you should know the system, and they've regressed. I think they can't come out and say this. The rigors and the adversity of this season is weighing on everybody. It's weighing on Nick Rallis. It's weighing on all the coaches. It's weighing on the players. Started with the DeMercado fumble. I mean, they were a good defense against the 49ers. And that's the biggest issue that Jonathan Gannon has to overcome is it looks like you've lost control of your ship here.
Yeah, your forte.
Yeah.
Darth Vader jumping in. Richard, would you rather win out or lose out?
Win out.
Yeah, I agree.
No more losing. Please, no more losing. Arizona Cardinals, Bo's favorite, $4.99. You guys skipped my super chat yesterday. Extremely fraudulent move. I said every loss is a step closer to a chance at Sweet Baby Mendoza. I'm sorry, Mr. Super Chat.
Yeah, that's on Johnny.
Remind me to punch no when I see him. No, I'm coming after you. Chartichoke, put a free.
I would never do that to a fellow choke.
Put a free. Put a comment in the chat. Next time you want it read, we'll get it read, my guy. Apologies for that. Mendoza's great. Sig's out for Mendoza. He's going to go first overall. Taco Corp, $4.99, Bo. The loss of Adams extends to the D-line not having competent physical O-line practice, just like Will Johnson going one-on-one with Marv every day in practice. I think there's some truth to that.
I mean, you also have to keep in mind that the defensive line is coached by another recruit from the college ranks. Coach Debo, as much as love to watch him go to work and talk to him Friday after practice, like, good dude, like, is he in a spot to help this team be successful in defensive front? I think they're really fortunate to have 39-year-old Calais Campbell, help in that room. But yeah, it could hurt as far as it's not the iron sharpening ironing situation with the fronts. The trenches they need to improve. They have to get better.
Like Mike Zimmer was with the Dallas Cowboys last year. He was their D coordinator for McCarthy. It's like bring him Mike Zimmer to be defensive consultant and bring in Brian Dable to run your offense. Suddenly feel a little bit better about yourself. Those are the kind of moves they need to make. Indigenous Daddy, $5, Bo. Keeping JG and Petzing over K1 is insane to me. 2026 is going to be a bad year. A lot of people feel that way, Bo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just think this organization is going to move on from Kyler Murray, and the quicker we maybe just accept that, and we'll see what happens as far as who his successor is. But it doesn't seem like year 8 is in the cards for Kyler here in the desert.
They've moved off of him.
Mm-hmm.
But Wanaki, $5. Do you guys believe they will go for Dable or Stefanski or hire somebody else based on what you know about Monti or JG? I want to believe that they'll go after the best candidates. We'll know Bowanaki if they do, and maybe they get rejected, or I don't think it's going to be a money issue.
Mm-hmm.
I like that's going to be a narrative that's false. I think they'll be competitive financially. But like, does Brian Dable want to tie himself to an organization where there's a young quarterback and he can rebuild his status? They're going to have to tightrope around the notion that Jonathan Gannon's on the hot seat. I think they could get Stefanski if he's fired because of his relationship with Drew and the kind of offense that Stefanski was to run is similar. I think if you ask me, I would think Stefanski would be Gannon's first choice. But I don't. He's got to get fired first. I think that's coming though.
Yeah, Darth Vader 199. More Shador starts, or
that'll get anybody fired. Sorry, Josina.
4 for 16. No pick. Would you take Calais Campbell as a new defensive line coach?
Sure. I would take Calais Campbell on another 1-year deal. I'd be at Calais, come back and play next year.
That also was a ticky-tack penalty.
Yeah. That crew. Here's where we're at. Nothing is decided. Gannon is safe. They got to put together competent football the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Win some games, show some progress. If they don't, listen, if you're pissed off about Jonathan Gannon being safe and they lose out or win one more game and they're getting blown out, there's no way he could be retained in January. So if you want to root for him to fail, then that's your choice. I'm tired of this team losing. I need to see a win. I want to see young players thrive. I want to see Michael Wilson spotlighted again and Trey. I want to see Marv back. Will Johnson potentially returning this week. Like, I'm always going to root for this is a very young team and it's an impressionable team. Like, I know Cardinal fans are taking it in the teeth and you have every right to be pissed off, but try to find hope and joy in the players that they have under contract for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it just seems like even if you lose out, can you get high enough to where you're going to be in a spot to get that franchise quarterback? I mean, that's the only thing. Like, if it's a different position, I think that the Cardinals could find a good player, an impact maker in the first round.
I think people want to lose out more so for the staff to get blown out.
Yeah, I'm not about that life.
Well, that's your prerogative. You want that. Oh, man. This team.
Not so much for the staff. I just don't want to watch. I mean, we've already seen 7 of the last 8 games go down as a loss.
It's been a lot. It's been a rigorous 24 to 48 hours. We appreciate everybody. We had big numbers yesterday, watch along and pre-halftime and post-game. We're going to be back tomorrow. Drew Petzing speaks to the media. Nick Rallis speaks to the media. And we're going to have more information as it relates to the health of some of these players that need to play for the Cardinals to win games down the stretch here.
I guess it's we have the parental discretion advised for this show. I think that should go for anything I post from Drew Petzing tomorrow, folks. Just like we've warned before. Maybe don't take in Drew Petzing's press conference tomorrow. I'll be there.
Those work.
Yeah. No, I mean, just in the replies to say, I choose not to listen to this.
Can we have an update on, I'm going to get an update here quickly before we go and sign off on the post from earlier with Jonathan Gannon asking people to stick with us. It is now up to 30,000 views, 90 comments, 36 retweets, 90 comments.
It's 36 retweets, but it's 36. It's 34. You and I are the only true just retweets of it. Everything else is a quote tweet. And
We're retweeting We're Shell Boys retweeting. 90 comments. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. That is insane. The memes are great underneath it. I mean, like, love the memes. Like, Cardinal fans still have some fire. They have some heart. They're coming after it. Why is he not firing anybody? Just fire somebody. It's like, hey, we're going to get our ass kicked, and then everybody's going to stay and remain employed. It's like, what? This is the NFL, bro. This isn't high school football where it's like, I volunteer my time to coach.
It's not a non-profit benefiting people who want to be coaches in the NFL, helping them keep their jobs.
Yeah, like this is just all for a good cause, and tip me when you can, and I'm making $10 an hour. I'm making an impact on these young kids. You're paid 7 figures.
Yeah.
You got your doors blown off 2 weeks ago. Please fire someone.
Oh.
You can't field a kickoff, bro.
You're Jonathan Gannon, head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Like, I am the head coach, but I like to think of myself as somebody that's giving back and helping those who have no business coaching keep coaching jobs in the NFL.
Hey, your D-line has been destroyed 2 straight weeks, and your offensive line is a sieve. Thoughts? Yeah, we're just going to keep going. I like the people here. I like a lot of people I've worked with. Doesn't mean they were great.
Hey.
But, sorry.
Don't talk about Noah like that. We're just kidding. We're talking about Damon.
John's saying JT is a charitable man. He is. We better get an interview in February then. It better extend to these fanboys. I'm going to be pissed if we don't get an interview. You let Drew Petzing coach the whole season, but you won't talk to us? He's going to talk to us.
It's been a banner day. Nice job with the reporting last night, Johnny. Make sure you're following along at Johnny Venerable. Follow the show on all your socials at PHNX_Cardinals. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? What are you doing? You watching this show? You haven't subscribed yet? Please do us a favor. We continue our way to 50K. Subscribe now. Like this video. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 4:30 right here, PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.